Bruno Massapacqua. I mean, a lot of your former players came back to help you out when they could before they started their families, never to the level of the dedication that you had. But thinking about all these young men who followed in your footsteps to either coach on a part-time basis or the many that have coached on a full-time basis, I mean, that shows you the influence that you've had over them and the inspiration, and how the things you're talking about helping, about reaching out, about educating young people, setting goals for them, that they're mirroring your image and your life experiences. And I think that should be, very satisfying to you.
What honestly is, I have to mention also, when you mentioned coach, I think in that same town of Erie, Pennsylvania, you have Jimmy Kiernan, who's the head
baseball coach.
No, Jimmy's football over at, he's at school up there with Marty Schetzel in the same town, and Brian Collins out of C.W. Post, Larry Woods, of course, down at Penn, and so forth. So that so many of these fellows have gone into the profession. Maybe it was the influence. I don't know. It's hard to know that. But so many are doing it. It's enjoyable to be able to talk with them professionally about how they can help me. I asked them now, by the way, what do they do in their particular areas of football? So I learned. So now they're very proficient coaches, and I go to clinics by them and so forth, and it's a joy to be able to listen to fellows like that.
And Coach, can you tell us any funny stories or any interactions? Woody Hayes came and recruited our football players, Ara Parsegian, Bill Campbell, when he was at Columbia University, recruited many of our players to Columbia. You've met so many college coaches. Do you have any stories to tell us, or anything that stands out, in your illustrious career?
That's a whole different thing, and generally, I guess I tend to be too serious at times with the coaches and so forth, and have laughs about it. But within the coaching profession and within sports itself, there's an awful lot of laughter and enjoyment and so forth. And there's a lot of great storytellers and that type of thing. You enjoy it. But just in human relations, there's a great deal of talking with people and so forth. And I think it gives you the ability to laugh together about a particular incident and so forth. And at particular schools, I would talk to the fellows that if you don't start doing your work, we're going to send you to a wagon wheel program, somewhere. And we'd share that particular story that we developing wagon wheels, so they don't get themselves going academically. So we enjoy that story and stories like that with the kids. So that there's an awful lot, as I said, it comes about just in interacting with another human being over some very good issues that come up at home or whatever. But as I say, I don't know if offhand I would have one that would be specific right now, but as I say, there's a great deal every day that I have to laugh at, every day, because there's a lot of fun out there, and it helps to balance out some of the frustrations you have, because you're trying to get things done where you may not have something to. I always was looking I was looking at fields that have nice carpeted football fields or whatever, and we don't have that, so we have to make the best we can do at the park department field, and they're making the best they can do under limited conditions, staffing. They don't have enough staffing to get the job done. They don't have enough equipment. They don't have seed. The other day, one of our baseball coaches, he was trying to do something. He sank about 2 feet into the soft ground because the field, I guess, are not properly supplied with enough good turf over a period of time, and therefore you have to watch out that you may step in a hole. I mean, literally a hole. And that, by the way, is another advantage I have tomorrow, is that I'll be able to, not that they're not knowledgeable about it, but I'm going to point it out so that they could take care of some of those holes down at the field that we need and so forth. And not that they don't know it, but they don't have the equipment to get it all done. That's the way we'd like it to get done.
Coach, if you had to, if you were going out to dinner with St. Francis graduate Vince Lombardi, and you were spending some quality time with Vince, what questions would you like to ask Vince now?
That's a great question. Well, he came out of, again, a very strict Italian home. He brought all that great culture and great family that he had, and he brought that to teaching. And he brought it here to St. Francis and carried it on to Fordham and so forth. And he saw his role very clearly as someone that could command, by his very strong personality and intelligence, he could command and get the respect of a group of professionals. And that's another whole quality of character to have success at that level. Dan Henning has that quality, but he is a much more milder type of character display than I think than the Lombardi. But the excellent mind, Danny has a great mind, as Lombardi had, obviously, and was able to put it together. But I think that the questions I would be that I'd like to basically, and I have his book home and I read through that. But I think the thing that I would like to ask him is more about how did he handle some of the individual personalities he had on his teams, having the great Paul Hornung and yet have the another different type of personality, Bart Starr. How did he handle those two personalities to bring about the great success that he had under incredible conditions? And with the consistency, he didn't just do it one year, he did it over a good number of years of success. And he was dealing with all kinds of great athletes, and I think, and unique personalities. And he had to capture all this and bring it in one direction. Those individual success stories that he had, I would have liked to have asked him about how did he handle this person as compared to handling another person.
Coach, from the outside, I look at my coach, college coach Bill Campbell, who's gone on to phenomenal success, chairman of the board at Apple Computer. Coaches have a single great expertise in many different areas, but they are masters at human relationships, human psychology, and that's what we're getting to with Campbell. And I look at you, Coach Kern, Coach DiMatteo, Coach Askelis, Coach Hurley, all these great coaches. They are masters of the human psychology, of being able to get into that player and to understand him, what makes him tick, maybe to see things he doesn't see, to get him to work collectively as a team. But that's a genius that I see that to me was probably honed over thousands of experiences and multiple times, and just keeping your ears and heart open, you know, to the whole learning process. But that's why when I look at these high school coaches, I have such admiration for what they do and the way that they're able to, as almost PhDs in the world of human relationships, to master that field of psychology. Any other comments on that, Coach?
That's why I carried the pad. That's why I carried the pad, because they say things. You've had the McGuire, you've had outstanding people every year to listen to for a couple of hours. You don't get a chance to listen to some of these incredible people for a couple of hours, and how they make away, how they deal with the world in their particular area of expertise. So that's a great gift we're given, and you're giving it on TV. There's some outstanding people speak, and I think that you have to pay the price. You stay up and listen to them. You have to read what they're saying, and I think that helps you to do that. I remember Coach Campbell as a great personality, and the first thing he impressed me with is he was highly motivated. He's a highly motivated man. He's going on all his cylinders, and when he speaks to you, you feel you're the only one he's speaking to. He's looking right at you. He's talking about how he wants to help that youngster. He wants him to play for Columbia. He wants him to do for Columbia. And I could see him doing the same thing in the business world, making his executives or whatever, wanting to be part of the team, wanting to be successful. And he'll try to motivate him to that particular success that he has in business. And he would have been an outstanding head coach, I think, really. But anyway, I think that's what he has. He has that ability to, he's dynamic. He's dynamic. He just, there's so much coming out of him at one time. You just have to, I think, have to listen and benefit from what he's saying. And I think also,